Howdy, y'all, and welcome to another episode of David's Saturday Night Sitback. This is a storytelling platform where we talk about stories related to business, fitness, or culture with an aim that by the end of the episode, the internal fire within you is burning a little bit brighter. If this is your first time, welcome. Imagine if your job wasn't to show up and do good work, but to carry 70 pounds of gear up a blazing tower with someone's life on the line. Now imagine after that, running a marathon or stepping off a flight from your latest competition where you just pushed your body to the brink, again, for no prize money, just purpose. What would drive you to chase that level of performance? To train because every ounce of speed, strength, and grit might one day determine who lives and who doesn't. If you were Ryan Swenson, it would be because you made a promise to yourself, to God, and to the people who count on you that you would become the man you were meant to be. Ryan was once a kid playing baseball and basketball like everyone else, but somewhere along the way, that ordinary path took a hard turn toward service and sacrifice. After high school, Ryan entered the fire service. In 2021, he officially joined the Georgetown Fire Department full-time, and since then, he's been a man on a mission. He's competed in firefighter challenges across Salt Lake City, Baton Rouge, and Minnesota. In 2024, he ran his first marathon. In 2025, he's still training like it matters because for him, this isn't just about the applause. It's about becoming the most physically capable person on the fire ground and in life. And when you scroll his page, you won't just see workouts and medals. You see a mindset. This isn't just fitness, he wrote in one post. This is purpose. Train like it matters, all it takes, all you got. From rookie EMT to elite hybrid athlete, this episode is a deep dive into what it takes to lead from the front when lives depend on it. Ryan, thank you for who you are. Thank you for being here, and welcome to your episode on David's Saturday Night Sitback.
Dude, that was fucking awesome. Am I allowed to swear?
We usually try to hold off for about 10 minutes for YouTube's algorithm, so I'll bleep that one out for you.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about what I do, so there's sometimes I just gotta let it out. So just put me on a timer and we'll get back to it.
Fair enough. I'll give you a little thumbs up when you start dropping
that was a great intro, dude. That was awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Well, welcome to your first podcast. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Mm-hmm. I just read a lot of titles. I read a lot of things that you can find on your Instagram, on your YouTube. But we are so much more than just athletes or firefighters or a podcast. Like, that's one element of everything that we are. Who is Ryan?
Who am I? I think there's definitely a few different aspects that you could view me as other than how you already described, say, a firefighter challenge athlete, hybrid athlete. First things first, and you already mentioned this, man of God. I think that's definitely the biggest thing that I hold is my faith and just discipline that I have to preach that whenever possible. And I did mention, I was going to mention that I saw one of the videos saying that you were agnostic, so maybe there might be some future discussions for us in the future or anything like that. But no, definitely man of God. I love going to church. I love the community that it brings along. I'm also do a young adults night every Tuesday night, which is called Austin City Young Adults. Anybody that's within that 18 to 30 year old range, if you're in Austin, you definitely got to come check it out at Great Hills Baptist Church on Tuesday nights, 7:30. And then I also do a Christian Run Club. Shout out to Luciano. He's the host of that. That's at 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday mornings down at the Trader Joe's in Seaholm downtown. So we can meet there, run 2 to 5 miles, have a big discussion at the end, and get into a bunch of small groups, and they'll have like question of the day. They'll ask one of someone that goes there to ask everyone's like, hey. Just something, it doesn't even have to be like Christian related to it. It'd be like, what's something you're struggling with and how are you overcoming it, or just something like that. And we'll number off at the end. We'll get into a big circle, number off 1 through 5, and then everyone will go to their respected areas, and just it's a good way to meet people and stuff like that, because there's usually about 100, maybe 200 people there every single Wednesday. So it's pretty good.
I made a joke with Ryan that I knew he was a man of God because We had our phone call on maybe a Friday when we just to chat and build some rapport, and then the following Sunday I get a random picture from you at the Ridge
forgot.
Church, and I remember my first thought is, oh no, what did he see on my Instagram where he's like, this podcast host needs Jesus. Let's get him in here.
I totally forgot that I did that to you, and that is awesome that you remember that and that you mentioned that. So, I mean, do you want to tell them how that all came about?
Which part?
Like why I sent you the picture?
Oh, we don't have to.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you really want to, we
Yeah,
can.
well, just to give some context, so I had one of my friends meeting me there, and I totally thought that I was sending him that picture to show him where I'm sitting at, because if y'all don't know, the Austin Ridge in Bee Cave is ginormous. There's like thousands of people that go, so you're not going to be able to find anyone just by looking around. So I usually take the picture and then be like, hey, this is where I'm at, come find me when you get there. So that's the story for that.
That was hilarious. It had me chuckling.
Yeah, I was like, right when I saw your text, I was like, wait, gosh, I sent this today. Just like, oh, whatever. Well, I'm glad you brushed it off and just got a good laugh out of it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm a relatively thick-skinned person, and that of all things is not gonna ruin my Sunday morning.
Good story.
Is an invite to a community-based event.
Yeah.
To help you sort of answer that question, who are you? I pulled a couple pictures offline. I believe this is you, correct?
Yeah, this is. I don't even know how old I was, so I need to show the camera. Me as a child.
It'll be on the YouTube version as well, so if anyone's listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, you might want to jump over to YouTube for the next 5 minutes or so. How old are you? I asked you that. We don't know how old you are. What does that bring back any memories of growing up?
Not this in particular. Yeah, I must have been like 2 or 3 years old by then. I'm sure my mom took the picture. My mom loves taking pictures of everything. So, no, nothing in particular. I know that was at my old house. So, the house that I grew up in, at least like from when I was born till about 4 to 5, that was at that house, obviously. So, the one thing I guess I will say I remember from that is that there was somewhere between say like 4 or 5, there was like this huge storm that came through our town. It's like a big windstorm. It was almost like a tornado, but a tree ended up going through our roof, and I faintly remember someone picking us up and bringing us to my cousin's house, who's like on the other side of town. But yeah, other than that, that's about all I can say about the old house and stuff.
Where is it? I'll take that one off your hands for you.
Yeah.
Where's home for you?
So I was born and raised in a small town in Minnesota called Crookston, Minnesota. About population 7,000 people. So very, very small, very cold in the winter as well. It's about 80 to 90 miles away from Canada, and then about 20 to 30 miles away from North Dakota. So right in that top northwest Minnesota. But yeah, I said very small town, born and raised there. I lived in Grand Forks, North Dakota, which is about 20 miles away from Crookston, but it's right on the border. So Minnesota, North Dakota, Grand Forks is on the North Dakota side, and then East Grand Forks is on the Minnesota side, which is cut off by the river. So lived there while I was going to school for firefighter paramedic. And then, yeah, once I got the job offer at Georgetown, that's when I finally moved here.
What's that like growing up in a town of 7,000 people?
There's definitely good, at least in the sense you pretty much know everybody, right? So even in just my graduating class, there was like 110, 120 people. So you pretty much know it. Even if you're not friends with them, you know, it's like, hey, I know who you are. Or just especially playing sports. I was a 3-sport athlete growing up. Football, basketball, and baseball, and I actually did track my senior year since I had biceps tendonitis in my throwing arm. So I was like, I couldn't throw a baseball, but I was also like, hey, I want to do something because track is in the springtime, so that'd be the very last chance to play high school sports. I was like, let's do it. So and that's where I got like my first taste in like the running, not so much like the hybrid training, but at least like, oh hey, like I'm pretty decent at this. But it kind of fell off, and then kind of going back and forth throughout the years, trying to get back into it and just not committing up until, like we mentioned before, in July of 2024.
Did you want to do sports? Did your parents make you do sports? Was it sort of like there's nothing else better to do, so everyone's doing sports?
No, that definitely that was something that came later in my childhood, especially for like basketball. That wasn't something I started till I was in 5th grade. So a lot of my friends that were playing, they had been playing since kindergarten or pre-K, or as soon as you can pick up a basketball, that you can start playing, whatever. So I remember definitely having a back end start for especially how my friends were performing at that age, and then me just being an absolute dud. And I was like, I was a chubby kid too growing up too, so just having that, and I mean that was so long ago now, but and then football too. We don't start tackle football till like 5th grade, so that was another thing too. I remember being afraid to get hit and stuff like that. I wanted to play, but it was also like I just didn't have that competitive edge to me yet. That was something that definitely came later on in life. And right now, I would say I'm very competitive in just about everything that I do, for good reason, obviously. But no, there definitely wasn't any pressure from my parents to do any sports and stuff. That was just something that came along with just meeting friends and stuff like that. And my friends were the ones who talked me into doing basketball when I was in 5th grade, like I said.
Yeah. Let's fast forward a little bit from the last picture. I'm going to show you for this next one. First off, I will say before I show you this picture, it was fun to go through your Instagram.
Yeah.
I think as any human ages, we all change.
Yeah.
But what an arc I saw in your journey, at least from an appearances perspective, and even just from like a maturity perspective. It was fun to go through all of those. But when I hand you this one, I'd be curious, as you look at this collage of 16 different pictures, if there's any particular stories that jump out.
I think I know what you know, it's funny. I remember when I would post these back in the day, I would have so many of my friends comment or text me. It's like, why didn't you add me to the post? And so on. And I'm sure you saw there's more than one, like one of these collages. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, but no.
16 pictures and I can't make it into one?
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably still comments on there where you're just like, are you kidding me? So there's so many good ones. So yeah, this was 9th, 8th, and 9th grade pretty much. Going across the board, yeah, just and I'm pretty much every single one of these people I'm still friends with, I would say. Just probably not always talking to every single day, but if I saw them back home, I would want to see them whenever I do travel back home. So, but yeah, there's a lot of different pictures to choose from.
Let me ask you this question. During your high school years, or even middle school years, do you think there is any particular day or event that added a lot of context to who you are today? Maybe some situation where you could have gone left or right, and if you had gone the other direction, life may look a lot different than it does currently.
I think in particular was I remember when I just got done with 6th grade, and it was that summer in between 6th and 7th grade. My dad ended up signing me up for, and I was like, told him I was interested, but there was this strength and conditioning camp that was hosted at our hockey arena, but they had like a bunch of like weights and stuff. That's just why they had it there. Excuse me. So that was my first taste of strength training and just fitness in general, because you were still at that age where it's like, oh hey, I can start lifting weights. You know, that's like, and I know the myth back in the day was like, oh, if you lift too early, you're gonna stunt your growth. And quite honestly, I don't even know if that's still a thing or whatever. I don't know if I believe that, but and I can't remember everything from that, because I mean that was back in 2011. But I just know that was my first taste of just lifting and like conditioning, getting better for your particular sport. Because like I said, that was only 2 years after like I started playing actual sports, the basketball, and I played t-ball, baseball growing up and stuff like that. But having that spark in me where I was like, oh hey, like this is really fun, and this is how you get good at, say, like getting stronger, getting faster, more building endurance, everything like that. So first couple of years, let's say junior high and even high school, there was the lifting that we did for sports. It'd be like morning weights. You got to wake up at 6 o'clock, be there by 6:30, and they'd run you through some type of workout, whether it was good or not. We would just have to be there as a team, right? So I didn't understand proper fueling, hydration, like what I do now, which I think if I had that knowledge back then, who knows how far I could be right now. But I think everything happens for a reason. Like, I don't hold it against it, but you do have to wonder. It's like, oh man, like if I knew like I need to eat like 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein a day, like, oh, and just like all the other carbs, fats, whatever. But I think that one in particular, just for where I'm at in life and everything that I'm trying to represent for myself and to inspire others, that's where it all started. So I would say that.
That's what we need, is a lot of 6th graders optimizing their health.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe it's good you weren't too dialed in it. It's good to still be
I don't think anyone is. You just don't have that understanding of because at least when you're a kid at that age, especially when it comes to sports, like either you're talented or you're just there because like you got nothing else better to do, right?
Yeah.
But it's like once you get up to the high school or college level, like that's when you really prove yourself. That's like where you like, hey, I understand I can make my own decisions now. I can control what I'm eating instead of just having mom cook me whatever she wants for every single meal. That all those things come in that you just, how should I say, you're just able to make your own decisions to have your own outcome that you want.
Are you into Greek mythology at all?
Yes, just a little bit.
Okay. I wasn't sure specifically on your left arm if maybe that was like a picture of, like Jesus or God that maybe you were interpreting, or if there is a bit of Greek going on. But now that I also see the guy on the chariot, not a unicorn. What are those called?
The Pegasus.
Thank you, the Pegasus.
Yeah, the unicorn. Yeah, the guys at work call it the unicorn. Like, shut your mouth. It's like, it's not a unicorn.
Sorry, I didn't mean
It's
to.
okay.
Just at a loss for words about my mythical creatures right now.
Yeah, no, whole Greek theme sleeve. So when I was in 7th grade, the spring of 2012, I took a trip with my parents and my uncle and his family, my cousins and stuff. We went to Greece for like 2 weeks. We went to like Athens, Corinth, Crete, the big island, and I just fell in love with it and been interested ever since. Like, I don't like follow it. It's like, oh, like I'm a diehard, but I had to put it on my arm for sure.
Yeah. I have a quick funny story for you that probably about a year ago, there was a guest who came on, and in one of his topics, he said he wanted to talk about Greek mythology. I remember when I saw that on his form, I just thought, I don't know about that. So I got this probably 250, 300 page book, got through about 75% of it before he showed up. And as we started talking, his lack of Greek mythology knowledge was embarrassing. I was like,
you learn more than him.
I can't know more about this than you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a poser. I just think it looks cool. Like, don't tell me. I honestly forgot how I think that's when Medusa got her head cut off and Pegasus came out or something like that. So yeah, don't quote me on anything. I mean, the Spartan. Spartans can. That's all you need to hear is the Spartan. You don't need any other context. I would say the greatest warriors of all time.
Yes. 300. Good movie.
Yeah.
One more picture for you of someone that I think was pretty influential in your life.
Yep.
Your folks.
Yeah, my parents, my mom, Linda, and my dad's name is Michael.
Linda and Michael.
Yeah.
Take that one back for you.
Yeah.
What was your relationship like with them growing up?
Oh, awesome, and it still is. My mom actually still texts me every single day, just every single day that I've left home. Yeah, she's like always like wish me good morning, good night, hope you had a good day, all that stuff. No, honestly, I think I would say like the picture perfect parents. They were always there for me. Even like growing up, I was never like a rebel, but there was like some mistakes I made as like any other kid would do, and just their the way that they would discipline was just, I think, laid the foundation of who I am today. And also them raising me. So I was raised Catholic, and now I obviously do the non-denominational, which we can get to later. But growing up, it was Sunday morning church every single Sunday. No matter how late I stayed out Saturday night with my friends, it was non-negotiable. I can say for a fact there wasn't one Sunday, unless we were traveling. That was the one caveat. If we were traveling, then yeah, we probably wouldn't go to church. But if we were home and it was Sunday, we were going to church, and it was at 9 o'clock. And I just remember as like growing up, I was like, oh, this is like the second chance that you can to sleep in. Like, it's the weekend. Like, can't we just not go? But there was, I don't know when they had like that moment where it's like, hey, we're like, when we have our son, we're gonna go to church. Like, that's non-negotiable. That's just how it was for me always growing up. So them laying that foundation for me, and even I get asked quite a lot from, say, the young adult nights and stuff like that. Everyone's always asking, like, oh, how long you been going to this church, or like, how long you been following God, or just whatever. And some of the people on me is like, oh yeah, like 2 years ago, like I hit a rock bottom and then Jesus saved me, or just something like that. But like, I always had God. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they've always had God. It's whether you're actually aware of it, right? But at least growing up, that was just something, like, it's always been a part of my life. And there, quite honestly, has never been any doubts or anything where it's like, oh, I don't think this is for me. It's just, and I think that's just how people are like raised and stuff like that. Like, if I didn't have my parents, then it probably would have been a different story for me. But I'm definitely grateful for everything they've done and continue to do for me.
We'll circle back to this in a couple minutes, because I don't want to fast forward too much to where you're currently at in life. But hearing that was a non-negotiable for you, I wonder how much that played into your discipline now, because they just instilled that every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, this is what we do. And even if you had like hypothetically left the church, or you disagreed with their teachings or whatever, if that discipline would have still carried with you to your habits now, because that's pretty cool that they had a, whatever it was that they had. And for you guys, it was church.
Yeah.
That was just, we don't break this exception.
Yeah,
This is
no,
what we
that
do
was-
on Sundays.
And I think now that you mention it, that I think that definitely does play into a big role, especially like even for this morning when like I went for my run. Like, pretty much every single morning, I don't want to run. I just want to just go back to bed. I don't want to go and get the miles, because I'd rather just stay home and settle. But I know that's exactly what will happen if I do settle. Then I'm not going to be the person I want to be. I'm not going to inspire the people that I want. And that's just something that's just like, hey, it's like, we're doing it. Even if I got to take a couple extra minutes to get out of bed, like, it's happening. Non-negotiable.
There was a well, let me, before I ask you this question, because this could be a difficult one, I'm not sure. Similar question to your high school experience. Was there anything that happened during those 4 years that you think also shaped who you were today?
In high school?
Yeah.
No, I guess definitely. So towards the end of high school, so say my senior year, that was when everything was starting to click for like training and lifting and stuff like that. The nutrition stuff was still something I had to work on, or just get more research. But around that junior to senior year, that's when I started following like fitness YouTubers, like the ones that were like sponsored by Gymshark, or just any other one, like Alpha Elite, all those guys. Back in 2015, 2016, that was when everything was like starting to make sense, and I was like able to follow programs now. But the one caveat is that 3-sport athlete, you don't really get an off season, so you're pretty much like, go to school, go to practice, and then go home, because you don't have anything left in you. So it wasn't up until I graduated my senior year and I followed one of the power building programs, or like powerlifting, bodybuilding, hybrid training, not the running, but just the aspects of strength training, like starting off with your big lifts, say squat, bench, or deadlift, and then doing accessories after that. So if it's like bench day, you hit a couple heavy sets on your bench, and then afterwards you do like dumbbell bench and you'd stick around like the three sets of 8 to 12 for so many exercises, as much as you want. So again, just health and fitness, other than just the firefighting and the firefighter challenge. That's just something that I want to keep learning, but I also just like I just love it so much.
Yeah. You had someone in your school, I believe his name was Joseph Holcraft,
Yes.
who passed away in a car accident.
Yeah.
I would say unique situation. A lot of high schoolers, I would say most people in my graduating class, I don't think we had any brushes with people passing away. Being that was a pretty small high school, did that have a pretty big shock or impact on the school that year?
100%. I'm glad you brought that up too, because I hadn't thought of Joseph in quite a while. I know his I believe the day that he died was at the end of August. So his brother, who I'm still pretty close with, his name is Aaron. So Joseph was already out of high school by then, and that was me going to my senior year, that summer before my senior year of high school. And I remember seeing like all over Facebook and everything like that, and I think that was probably the first time me growing up, and that was me losing someone that, say, like my age range. And I would say like we were friends, definitely, but it's not like we ever hung out outside of school and stuff like that. Like me and Aaron, we played football, basketball, and baseball together. But he was 2 years older than me, so like he was on varsity when I was on JV. But like I said, me and him are still pretty tight. He actually, a couple years ago, he started a cooking channel on Instagram, and he's got like 100,000 subscribers too. So is Mr. Whole Milk Eats. So I'll go make sure to check him out. So
Good name.
yeah,
Good name.
yeah. So no, I remember, yeah, just when that happened, and just having, it was just a feeling that I never felt before. Like definitely I'd lost family members and stuff like that, but there wasn't that one point where it's like oh man, like, you know, like he's gone. And I had just especially for Aaron, you know, I mean that's his brother, right? And I do have a half brother and a half sister. I do sometimes consider myself an only child, just because both of them were they're older than me. I didn't grow up with them, just seeing them for holidays just a couple times a year growing up. They almost felt like cousins, not to take anything away from our blood, but that's just how I was raised. So just having that perspective, I was just like, yeah, that was definitely tough. And that was 9 years ago now, which is crazy.
Do you remember what you tried to do for Aaron to be a good friend to him during that time?
You know, nothing. I don't think anything in particular, which maybe I could have done. I don't think he would hold it against me now. I think the amount of support just from family and friends and the community in itself was more than they probably thought was possible. Like, I mean, I wasn't in their situation, and I know they're definitely missing a piece that will never be able to be filled again. You know, I mean, Joseph was he was a man of God. He was just a great person to be around, I remember. But yeah, I wouldn't say anything in particular. I think just mostly just sending like a quick text or a quick message here and there to say like thinking about you and stuff. So once Aaron was done with school, he went to college in the college in my hometown, and now he's back in California, where he's originally from.
Gotcha.
So
California, that's hometown for me.
Yeah.
North or south? Do you know?
North, Chico. I know that's, well, I take that back. So he's from California. I think he went to California. Now he's in Oregon or somewhere over there.
West Coast boy.
Yeah, definitely.
When you got to graduating high school, did you know what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so at least for the firefighting, I can't say that was always something. It was always in the back of my mind. So I'm sure you found out, or at least knew, that my dad was a firefighter.
Yep.
So volunteer firefighter for 20 years. He he started in 2003, and he retired in 2023. So growing up, so he was 43 when he started too, which is like that's when guys are getting ready to get out of the fire service, right?
Yeah.
So he was 43 when he started, and there was always that sense of just being able to just be there for the community, help the community, but also the brotherhood that I just didn't know existed up until like just seeing, like going to the firehouse with my dad and just seeing all the guys there. And they always have events going on, like they'll do like a big pancake breakfast here and there, and just like just other stuff just to bring the community together. So that was always in the back of my mind. I did have interest of going into the military, which just didn't work out, obviously. And once I was like, hey, I need to do something, there was like, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. You know, it took a little bit, but then it was also like this. No, this is what I'm here to do. There wasn't like I never wanted to be in an office. I didn't really want to go to college like 4 year, other than have a good time and stuff. But there wasn't anything in particular where it's like, oh yeah, let's go to university. There just wasn't anything that interested me. It was like, hey, now I think I want to be a firefighter. So again, just having my dad build that foundation, and like I watched movies growing up too, like say like Ladder 49. Like just about everyone's seen that movie. And then like Chicago Fire when it first came out. Obviously, I don't watch it anymore, but my parents still like watching it. But no, I'd say definitely that for the military. Definitely was something I was interested in, but that was just kind of like, hey, this isn't going to work out. Maybe sometime in the future. And obviously, we're not really, as of now, at war with anybody. There's not like people having to go. There's people deployed everywhere, but nothing like a super main conflict with the United States right now. Which, in that case, that'd be something that's like, okay, maybe it's time to do my part. So,
You graduated 2017?
yes.
Okay. All right. So what were the first steps? What did that look like from post high school graduation up until it was 2021 that you accepted your first full-time job, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. For the fire.
What was sort of going on during that 4-year gap?
Yeah. So, graduated 2017. It was that winter. I remember it was December of 2017, and I had been like talking to my dad because even for, and I honestly I was thinking about this the other day too. It's like I don't know why I never like was a volunteer firefighter in my hometown, but that's anyway. I knew that I wanted to be a firefighter, and I knew that I wanted to move from my hometown. Like I knew I wanted to go someplace warmer, bigger, more fun. And just doing my research, and even my dad was like, hey, like go to the EMS ambulance station and ask to ride out. So luckily for me, one of my classmates, his father was the supervisor for the ambulance service in my town, Crookston area ambulance. So it was in that December where I was like, hey, like I'm interested in this. And he like, could I start riding out with y'all? Just want to see what it's like. And they was like, yeah, no problem. Like, he was super helpful. Got me everything I needed to get started. So I remember, and I was working pizza delivery for just trying to make money and stuff like that. And I would say that was the absolute worst. That was terrible, especially winter in Minnesota. Going out and delivering pizzas when it's -20 is not ideal. It sucks. But anyway, when I started doing the ambulance ride outs, I was like, oh hey, like this is something, yeah, let's do it. Because I knew I wanted to do firefighting, and just like across America or even across the world now, a lot of fire services are taking the EMS under themselves. So fire-based EMS, which Georgetown is, like we have ambulances there. So that was the one thing I was like, hey, like firefighting, like we can do that, but let's check on the medical stuff. Let's see if this is something I want to do. So got my EMT in June of 2018. The ambulance service started their own EMT program which that was from January up until June, from at least the classwork, and then studying skills, and yeah, finally taking the national registry. And that's once I passed that, the ambulance service just hired me right off the bat, and I was pretty much good to go. So I was remember going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for say like 9 to 4 or something like that, just like during the day. And yeah, just learning as much as I could, and yeah, just being that extra set of hands for whenever the medics needed. So
During the ambulance ride-outs, when you first started going, what'd you see or experience or witness where it sort of confirmed what you were already thinking, that's sort of the space you wanted to be in?
I wouldn't say a particular. I think just having that sense of like, hey, like I'm helping people. That was just something I never really had before, especially just doing the pizza delivery and like other side jobs that I did growing up. I never had that sense of like, hey, I helped this person. And not the sense that I saved anyone's life then, but it was like, hey, like this guy that I'm riding with saved this guy's life and stuff like that. So I think just the sense of purpose of being there for someone on their worst day, that was something I didn't know going into it. I was like, oh yeah, you help people and stuff like that, but just seeing how real suffering is in literally life and death situations. I mean, it was surreal. And I remember it was like a week after I got my EMT, I ended up running my first cardiac arrest, which that, especially running that and just going through that whole call, that was like, oh my gosh, like what like what just happened. And I remember just like the feeling of emotion I had afterwards. Like we got back to the station, I was just like oh my gosh, like now when we do it, it's like, oh yeah, that's like, it is like we have a job to do, we got to do our job. But I remember back then it was like, oh my god. And it was just it was a like a 60-year-old guy. Him and his wife were on vacation. Ended up happening at one of the hotels there. So yeah, we get there, we do the CPR, and I know we shocked him. So if you don't know about CPR, like like there's rhythms where you can shock, and then there's rhythm, or not rhythm, asystole, so flat line, where it's just like, hey, the heart doesn't have any electrical activity, so you can't shock it. But say ventricular tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation, that's something you can shock, that can hopefully get the person to regain their pulse again. So
Did during those first couple months, did it change your worldview at all? Either how you conduct yourself, how you see people, how you treat others? Did you see any shifts in your character and your perception of the world, seeing people on their worst days from a medical perspective?
So I would say I've always had like a big sense of empathy towards people, but I think it wasn't until just being with someone on their worst day was like, hey, this is like, how empathetic are you actually, like trying to comfort the wife, say on that CPR, like what are you supposed to say to that, right? Until you're actually in that situation, you're like, hey, like what am I gonna do? And I didn't have to do that. Like I was doing, say, like chest compressions, BVM, so giving artificial ventilations and stuff like that. But just the little stuff, like, yes, we have a job to do, but it's also like they don't really tell you like, hey, like this is what you're supposed to say to the wife of the man that just died after they've been married for 30 or 40 years, however long. So that's something you either have, you have that soft spot in your heart, or like you just brush it off and you just let it go. So I remember, yeah, within the like first year of being an EMT, there was definitely some ones where you're just like, yes, yeah. And I was kind of, wouldn't say brought up in the suck it up mentality, but that's something that, say, the fire service, EMS, pretty sure the military is going away from this too, is like the suck it up mentality is not good in the sense of just mental health and like leaving everything in. Like I've never done therapy, which maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I have my own way of dealing with things. in good ways. Like I'm not downing a whole bottle of Jack Daniels or anything, but definitely my faith, my health and fitness, everything like that, that keeps me square. And I think just because I've been doing it so long too, it's just like that is something I do. I just like, hey, not say it's like suck it up. It's like, hey, like I know for a fact that we did the best that we could. And that's something I had, at least now with being a paramedic for almost 5 years. At least when I started EMT, I mean, your skill level is very limited. So you're thinking like, oh, shoot, like, what if we done this? What if we done that? Like, maybe they'd be alive now. But it's like, now it's like I know for a fact, like, myself and my crew is going to give anybody the best possible outcome. And that gives it some, like, reassurance at the end, whether we save them or not. It's like, hey, we gave it the best effort that we could. We did everything that we could. And then after that, that's just, you got to leave it out of your hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that you brought up health and community. I think those do a lot more for us than we give them credit. Dude, I love the gym. I call it it's my current church. You know, I don't think I've ever left the gym and thought, well, I fare worse now.
Yeah, no, it's impossible. Yeah, even just going through the doors, like if you were to walk out, it's like, hey, I'm pretty proud of myself. I made it to the gym.
Yeah, maybe if you even half-ass the workout a little bit, which I don't like to do, but it happens every now and then.
Just got to take an extra scoop of pre-workout if you need. That's all you need.
Yes. What about on a lighter note? I have a friend that used to ride an ambulance. I think he did it for about the amount of time you've been doing. He did it for 4 or 5 years, and then he pivoted to something else. I forget what. Did you guys ever get a call that was more on the comical side where you were just like, how the heck did these folks get in this situation right now?
There's definitely a lot. There's definitely ones like we always like joke around about, especially to say like older folks and stuff like that. If they just call for say something, we don't decide people's emergencies, right? And I'm not gonna say like, hey, if you call 911, like you need to be dying, otherwise like don't call me. It's like, hey, if you have the nerve to call 911, no matter how big or how small, like I'm gonna fix it. Whether it's something where it's like, oh hey, you need to get your medication bottle open, or yeah, if you're dying, we're gonna do the best we can to save you. But one in particular, and I don't know if this really counts for how you asked it, but one call in particular, this was like a year ago. I was on the truck, so I wasn't on the ambulance. We ended up getting called for a fire alarm, so a smoke detector going off. So we're like, oh, okay, no problem. We get called for those all the time. We get there. Looks like just a regular residence. There's no smoke, no fire, obviously. So like, hey, let's go check it out. So we get inside. And one of the resident was like, oh yeah, it's coming for our bedroom. And we're trying to like, yep, nothing, not smelling anything. Like maybe just a faulty detector, just need to change out some batteries. But we get inside and we're like, hey, the sound isn't coming from the ceiling. And we're like, get a little bit closer to the nightstand. And we're like, yeah, that's your alarm clock going off.
Oh, no.
So we were just like, we just pressed the button and we're just like, all right, y'all good? Then we left. So just stuff like that. I mean, there's just so many now. I don't even know how many calls I've been on within the last 7 or 8 years. But there's definitely ones like that where you're just like, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. Did you you probably didn't see them if you came in the way my directions described. Did you happen to drive by the building with the 4 units that were burned down?
Oh, no, I did not see that.
It happened on the night of September 10th, which was a little bit... What a crazy coincidence. But it was very warm out the morning of September 11th, even at 7:15 or whatever time me and Thad went for our walk. Mm-hmm. And most of the units in here have fireplaces. Mm-hmm. So when we walk outside and I smelled burning, and I was like, man, I know we love our fires in this neighborhood, but this seems like little...
You can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah, it smelled a little funny. It seemed a little bit too hot. And then we walked by this building, and the entire the frame was fine, but the entire inside was just black. And I met one of my neighbors who was in one of those units, and he said it was about 10:45 at night. He was watching Netflix. He was about to go to bed, and he just heard the sound outside. And he said, I don't even have a word to describe the sound. It just seemed off. Yeah. So he goes to his front door, unlocks it, pulls the door open, and he says as soon as the door opened, he just sees smoke and flame come flying at him.
Shit.
So instinctively, he slams the door, locks it, sort of jumps back, and he said within moments, 3 out of his 4 walls were on fire.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
only one that wasn't was the one with the sliding glass door. So he throws the door open, he runs onto the porch, he's yelling, "Help, help." Fire is getting bigger, it's getting hotter, no one heard him. So he jumps off the porch, which fortunately these aren't that high. So
Yeah.
you could probably jump off and maybe get a couple bruises or something. And he said before he could even like register everything that had just happened, a couple fire trucks showed up out of nowhere. Someone had called 911. They put the fire out, and the whole incident, I think, it had started and ended within like 10, 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, no, AFD's got a very good department, so I'm sure. And yeah, I mean, once there's every once in a while we'll get toned out for a fire, but say most of the time, maybe half the time, it's like, oh no, never mind. It's like burnt food in the oven or just something like that, you know. But yeah, once I'm sure those boys, once they came across the corner, they saw them flames. They were like, oh yeah, we got a job.
We actually had something to do tonight.
Yeah. It's like this. I'll wait to go back to bed for this one. That's definitely, yeah. We live to go to fires for sure. We definitely don't. It's definitely the catch-22 or whatever you want to call it. It's like, yeah, we don't want your house to burn down. We don't want their house to burn down. But it's like, man, I want to do what I signed up for, and I want to slay the dragon is what we call it.
So what's your when you let's say you were in that instance, or not even that instance, but when you drive up to a building and it is on fire, what's sort of going through your head? I like to ask this of like hockey players when they're on the rink. I've asked musicians when you're on stage.
Yeah.
For you, this is sort of your time to show up and perform. Mentally, what are you thinking about and registering as the truck pulls up and you see the flames?
Yeah. So even in my 4 years at Georgetown, like would say very limited fire experience. I would say, and I was just asked this recently, so that's why I know the answer off the top of my head. I think I've only been on like 8 or 10 legit fires, but I'll say hearing the tones go out. So you're at the station, you're doing your thing, you're working out, you're eating, whatever you're doing, and you hear the tones drop. You're like, hell yeah, let's go. Like we got like structure fire, whatever units are going, and run into the truck. Yeah, it definitely depends on what apparatus you're on. Say if I'm on the ambulance, a truck, or an engine, you have different jobs to do. So say for instance I'm on the ambulance and it's we're going to be the first ambulance there. It'd be my job to coordinate with the apparatus that I'm stationed with. So say my station 5, say if I'm on medic 5, we get toned out to a house fire mile away, like I would probably get paired with the truck, so truck 5, and we would do whatever we gotta do, whether it be search the building, do a primary search, checking for any victims, or other deemed necessary if we need to go to the roof and do vertical ventilation. So that's where you see the guys on the roof getting the chainsaws, opening up the roof, which yeah, I have yet to do. Hopefully that comes soon. But yeah, no, it definitely, just the few fires that I've been to, having that, like, yeah, we're going to this. And especially with, because we get dispatch notes, so all of our apparatus, our ambulance trucks, engines, they'll have a CAD system, which dispatch tells us all the information that we need to know go into a call, so they don't have to keep on calling us, be like, oh, hey, yes, fire, victims trapped, whatever. Like, everything's listed on the laptop. So once you see the flame showing and stuff like that, it's like, okay, yeah, let's go. So no, it definitely depends on which apparatus, who you're working with too. I float around a lot, so I'm working with a lot of different crews. So the aspect of being able to perform for what your officer or what your crew intends is definitely something. It's like, oh, hey, like I need to be on my A game. You know, like if you can stick with one crew and y'all know what everyone's capabilities are, it's like, oh, hey, man, like this guy's better on the engine, or this guy's better on the truck, or just different skills. But when you're going between different shifts, different crews and stuff, you got to be like, hey, like whatever they ask me to do, I gotta be able to do it. So yeah, I think now that definitely sums it up.
In the 8 to 10 fires that you've been to, has there ever been a moment where you doubted yourself or hesitated or thought, got a little overwhelmed, or for the most part is the training and the camaraderie strong enough that you can just dive in and do your thing?
Yeah, no, yeah, Georgetown, we got all of our like battalion chiefs and officers, everyone's like pretty squared away. So me as a firefighter, like my job is to like be given a task and take that task at hand, right? So I've never in the sense had that like sense of like, oh hey, like what should I do, or just like, oh I don't know if I'm doing this right yet. I mean, yeah, who knows what can happen next time I go to a fire. But anything in particular, I wouldn't say like everyone's like, hey, like Swenson, grab the nozzle, like let's go to work and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say anything in particular from that aspect.
What about, to backtrack a little bit here, because I don't want to forget, as I mentioned to you, as a whole, 65% of the people that listen to this podcast are an almost even split of men and women age 24 years of age or younger. And for those that are maybe in like the 16, 17, 18-year-old range who they're getting ready to graduate and they have this big life question where they have to decide for the next 40 years, what am I going to do?
What am I gonna do?
And maybe they don't have a family member or a friend that's worked on an ambulance or worked on a fire truck. You know, for them, if they're also thinking college is not for me, corporate America is not for me, I don't want to really spend 4 years in school and do, have $30,000 in debt.
Yeah.
What would you sort of speak to that they should do or think about if they're deciding following in your footsteps?
I would just say, just rewatch the video and do everything I just said. No, definitely. I 100% believe like being a firefighter is the best job in the world. Like it's the ultimate responsibility, the ultimate, like you're in the public's eye. You get to be like everyone loves you too, which is great. Like we're not police officers, thank God. So gotta feel this love. I love my police officers. They're good.
That was funny.
No, we like to poke fun. They like to poke fun at us too, so it's okay. No, just everything that comes along with the fire service. I mean, tradition, the health and fitness aspect. I mean, you got to be somewhat fit to go fight a fire or pull somebody out of a fire, throw a ladder, break in ceiling, everything like that. I just think it has the whole, how should I say, just everything that you would want to be for someone like that. That's your opportunity. You have the opportunity to save someone's life. Like, yeah, that doesn't happen every day. Like most of the time we're going like regular calls, say like the lift assists, medical calls. Definitely you're not fighting fire every day unless say like you're FDNY or Detroit, all those like big cities where they just have a bunch of more people, bunch more places to burn down. So I think you definitely need to do some soul searching too. Like this isn't a job just to be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be a firefighter. That sounds good. Like I take I take it very, very seriously, for especially when people like ask me like, dude, hey man, like I'm thinking about becoming a firefighter, and most of the time people are like, oh yeah, dude, like dude, go get it, like that's awesome. But I think of like, hey, what are the things that you're gonna encounter is like some things you're not going to be able to forget. And that's like kind of going back to like, say like my first CPR and stuff like that. And there's however many calls that I've had where just like, oh yeah, like they bugged me. That aspect, you having to be in the best shape possible, which again, the majority of the fire service probably isn't in the right physical shape or just in the like taking nutrition as seriously as they need to. And that's something that I'm trying to change, especially with my coach, just promoting the health and fitness for the fire service. And if you didn't know, one of the main causes of death for firefighter deaths on scene is cardiac related. So
Really?
it's not dudes dying in fire as much as dudes overexerting themselves or just not being in the shape that they need to be to perform the duties that they're responsible for. So yeah, I know a lot of people don't know that statistic, but that's like one thing where it's like, hey, you need to be like a badass to be able to do this job. but also it's like you need to take care of yourself outside of the job too. Yeah, I would say definitely do some ride outs. Don't get into this job without knowing what you're getting yourself into. That would be my 100% what you need to do. Like, I'm so glad I did the ride outs to begin with, because I know for a fact, I know people that have gone through this training and they second guess themselves like, oh, hey, this isn't for me. It's like if you would have done, say, a couple weeks worth of ride outs, or just even a couple ride outs, you would know if this is something you want to dedicate everything to. Like EMS, fire, police, like that's not something you can just sign up for. It's like, oh yeah, why not? Like, what you are asked to do on a daily basis, what you have to be willing to do at any given moment, that's something you need to think about. That's not something that you can just brush off. You're like, oh yeah, maybe I'll save this person's life, or maybe I'll die trying. But it's like, hey, are you willing to give your life for someone you've never met, who doesn't even know your name? Is that something you're willing to do? So I'd say if you're able to answer all of that, then maybe this is the job for you.
It's a tough question to answer.
Mm-hmm. It's something I think about all the time. I definitely would rather not be my way to go, especially dying in a fire, but I know that is my responsibility. Like, one of our main things that we say as firefighters is everyone goes home. Like, we don't want to die in a fire, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone does. But if you're willing to do that for someone, again, that you have never met before, yeah, that's saying something.
That one lived rent free in your head for a few days if you're considering joining the fire department.
Yeah, if you're willing to save someone else.
You had a friend that you mentioned had some connections with the local fire department, or maybe it was a different department. How do you get on an ambulance ride out? Like, if an 18-year-old just walks up to a fire department door and knock, hey, sees them in the grocery store? Like, that's how you sort of got on my radar. I just see firefighters all the time in HEBs and just around town.
Yeah.
So if an 18-year-old saw like a couple firefighters in HEB and was like, hey, can I get on some ride outs with you guys, or someone in the city? Are most departments pretty receptive to that, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know really any department off the top of my head that wouldn't like consider doing that for someone. Having it going through a crew, like say if someone saw me at HEB with my crew and they came up to me and was like, hey, I want to do a ride out. At least in Georgetown, you have to go through, say, our administration office for public safety, and you got to like fill out a form. You got to be at least 16, I'm pretty sure. Some places it might be 18, but yeah, that's something that you just can't ask a crew like, hey, can I ride out with y'all? That's like something, especially because you don't know what situation you get in. So there's definitely the liability aspect. Like, we don't want some random guy coming with us and then we end up going on a bad call and just something happens to that person, you know? So yeah, definitely you can at least go to the crew, especially if you're not in Georgetown or just anywhere. Like, go to the crew so they can lead you in the right direction. But again, at 100% you need to do ride outs before you even start school. Like, there's just no point of doing all the schooling, especially for paramedic, is very grueling. The fire's fun. Fire's definitely like fun going through, and it's like the skills and even testing is like varies like to the point. But paramedic, there's just bunch of like, it just doesn't stop. There's always something
for firefighters. And if you don't know the answer to this, don't worry about it. It's just stuff that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. Is there a shortage of firefighters right now? Are you guys overwhelmed with people wanting to be firefighters? Like, what's the interest level in this?
Yeah, no, it's definitely taking a toll. So back, like, say, like after 9/11, for the 343 firefighters of the FDNY that gave their lives at the World Trade Center, that definitely had a big spark in the fire service. That was just like, from what I was told, that's like everyone, or just more people than ever, were trying to be firefighters. Even under the circumstances, you would think like, oh, 343 firefighters died. Like, oh, I don't want to do that job, right? But it was also just that aspect of like, you know, like being able to die for something greater than yourself and like helping people. But that being said, I think there's definitely been a slow slow trend downward of firefighters. There's definitely like a nationwide shortage, and I know like some departments are doing better than others. Definitely, definitely a lot of them are underpaid. Just they don't have like a good work life balance where they're just overworked, underpaid. So at least in Georgetown, our schedule's good. We have really good staffing right now too, which is good, but it's also not good, especially for the guys that are trying to pick up overtime. There's just not as many spots, and we're just about to start another process here. So yeah, we'll have more people, but yeah, definitely there might be even worldwide, but definitely a nationwide shortage of firefighters. Definitely EMTs and paramedics, because just that job in itself, that EMS is definitely overutilized and underpaid across the board, unfortunately.
Does EMS and paramedics, do they have a high turnover rate too? Like, is there a point where people just see so many, just crazy stuff they weren't expecting to see, that after a couple years they're just sort of like, you know what, time to move on?
I think there's definitely a big mental health aspect that turns people away just from the situations that you're put in. But I would say, in my personal opinion, which leads people away from EMS is the pay. Like, no, like just about any ambulance service out there, like you're not making barely enough money to survive, at least depending on, especially if you have a family. Like, that's definitely a hard wage to live off of. Luckily, like I said, in Georgetown, our paramedics they're paid well versus say other services and stuff like that. And I remember when I was an EMT back home, if I remember right, and we did like how we got paid was based on like different factors, whether it was day or night shift, whether you're on first crew, second crew, a bunch of factors played into it. But on average, my like salary, or at least like my hourly wage, was about $10 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's just how it is. And once I got my paramedic, that only came up like an extra $2 or something like that, even though I went through a whole year of like really, really tough training to like, oh, just an extra $2. It's like, son of a bitch. I was like, oh, it's worth it. So, definitely got the, like I wanted to take at least as far as I could. So there's definitely that EMT, like just about everyone's an EMT, but if you're able to get through paramedic, you're definitely a lot more departments will want you if you have that sort of training, for sure. You're definitely way more standing out than everyone else that's an EMT.
And you guys are paid basically through tax dollars, right?
Oh yeah, we're definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's taxpayers.
Can you guys do anything to advocate for yourselves, or are there anything? I'm sure it varies by like city by city or county by county.
Yeah.
But is there anything that either you can do or that your community can do if they wanted to advocate to get you guys paid a little bit more?
Yeah. So our union association had just put on. They were part of one of the events in Georgetown. I wasn't able to go since I was at my challenge. So they just had, I think, something along the lines of like a food, something with food that they were making for people and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it was like in the downtown square or something, but they were at least able to get out in the community. And we've actually had one of the ESD, which I'm not like by no means an expert on all this stuff, but the ESD tax, which is like emergency service district, which is like, if I can remember right, is outside of what Georgetown city limits are that we still cover, which if they're out of like say city limits, it takes us exponentially longer to get to people's homes or wherever they're at, or say car accidents or anything. That was something that we needed to have like the taxpayers pay more, or there's an increase in the percentage that was just passed. That must have been earlier this year or late last year. I can't remember, but no, our union is definitely very like trying to get out in the community. It's like just spread awareness. Like, hey, like, yeah, no one wants to pay more in tax dollars, but this is something that we actually need. So we're actually hoping to add 2 more stations within the next few years, and that was something that needed to pass to help us get those extra stations. Because even for the station that I'm at, or when I'm assigned to, should I say, there's certain calls that we'll get in the neighborhood way across our district that we're still covered because we're the closest one, but it can take us up to 10 or 15 minutes to get there, even if we're going lights and sirens, even based like on traffic and everything like that, which if you know, like 10 or 15 minutes, that's, especially now from how, say, like furniture and just buildings are constructed nowadays, that's more than enough time to have your house fully involved in fire, which is unfortunate to say the least, but like we do the best that we can under the circumstances that we're given. We try not to let that get to us, but there's been definitely some calls where it's just like, hey, if we were just a little bit closer, this outcome would have been a whole lot different for the better.
Yeah, I remember and think of how quickly fire spreads. You ever been to Universal Studios out in California by chance?
Or not the one in California, the one in Florida.
So I don't know if they had, this was 30 years ago, so it probably doesn't even exist anymore. But they had this one exhibit, I guess you could call it, that my parents took me and my older brother and sister to, where basically like 30 people go into this big warehouse and you're up on a platform that was probably 2 or 3 floors up, and then they shut the doors behind you and the whole room is just pitch black. And from across the way, you see a fire start under a door, and the simulation shows how fast the fire can spread.
Oh, yeah.
Before you know it, the whole warehouse is on fire, and then
Yeah.
it gets put out, and you leave. And I think it's just to show, like, you know, how quickly flames could envelop a building. And what was funny was it's supposed to be entertainment, but I'm pretty sure that traumatized me a little bit as a kid. And so for me, firefighting was just never an option.
You're just like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm like, no way, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think if I would have saw that when I was a kid, I was like, yep, this is still what I want to do.
Yeah, so we are opposite in that way.
Yeah, maybe.
You gravitated towards it. I ran away.
Maybe.
Started a podcast. No fires around here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, no, you're definitely killing it with the podcast, man. And I think this is definitely where you need to be.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. And congrats on hitting 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Thank you for the help in getting to 500 subscribers on YouTube.
You're welcome.
You know, I won't rant on this too long because this is about you, but in case there's anyone that's thinking about starting a podcast, the hardest part is the beginning. And you 100%. As a YouTube content creator, I'm sure you're the same way.
100%.
If you can make it through like the first 18 months, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But that first year, probably similar to most things in life. I don't think anything starts easy, but if you're someone who's starting a podcast for immediate satisfaction, you're in the wrong game.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything along the social media aspect, if you're looking for that quick fix, or it's like, hey, like I need to be at the top right now, you're not gonna last 100%.
Yeah. Before we talk about you being a fighter challenge athlete, what am I not thinking to ask you about being a fireman? Is there anything that I should be inquiring about right now?
No, I think we kind of harped on everything with the health and fitness aspect. Just kind of, like I said, know what you're getting yourself into beforehand by doing the ride outs. Yeah, best job in the world, 100%.
I do have one more question. Mm-hmm. Outside of your church group and people that you've just been friends with for life, would you say another big part of your community has been your coworkers?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So quite a few of my coworkers, pretty much a majority of my coworkers, they're married. They got kids right now, so they're not a single bachelor with no kids like myself. So there's definitely that aspect. It's like, hey man, like let's go to Pluckers tonight, get some wings. Like, oh no man, I'm with the wife and with the kids or whatever, you know. So there's that aspect which I kind of find like it's good for us to like I love working with all the people at work and stuff like yeah, there's like you don't get along with everyone. You have like differences of like, hey, I want to do this versus that, and so you kind of butt heads every once in a while. But no, that being said, there's like I do like hanging out with my friends outside of work, because yeah, when you're at work, like you can be having a good time at the station, and then you run a bad call, and then everyone's kind of glum the rest of the day, which kind of sucks. But no, definitely whenever we can, we try to at least get together, do something fun for sure.
I just asked because as I've been sitting here talking with you, I realized that being a firefighter, it sort of envelops your whole life in a way. Like podcasting takes up 2 hours of my day, or, I don't know. It doesn't, like, this sort of infiltrates in a good way.
Yep.
You're sort of building your community the same way that you make your money. It also sort of forces you to be in the gym, and it sort of has this domino effect of how you conduct yourself in your time outside of work as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say we spend a third of our lives at the firehouse, especially for us doing the 2 days on, 4 days off, 48-96 schedule. I mean, theoretically, it's like a third of my career is going to be at the fire station. That's me not being at home, and hopefully I'm married one day with kids. That's just like something that I'm just like, yeah, if you need to go home, like you need to go home under like certain circumstances and right. But it's like at the end of the day, you have a job to do. You took the oath and everything like that. So yeah, there's definitely it can, and I try not to let this happen to me, is to consume me so much, because I don't want to be known as just a firefighter. Like I want to be known as me, like Ryan. Like, yes, I love firefighting. I love everything that it represents. I love representing it. But there's also that fact of like, hey, if like it's not healthy to, especially for the job, to have that consume you.
Yeah. What's station life like?
It's fun. I mean, some crews have more fun than others, definitely. But no, there's always something going on, during the day, especially if it's like weekdays. You might have a training throughout the day, like you'll have to go to some type of training, whether it's fire, EMS, doing other stuff online training, continuing education, that we have to get so many hours within a 2-year span for paramedic, and then so many hours for fire as well. So we're always doing something, and it's definitely there's the stereotype that we're always sitting around and not doing anything until a call comes in, which we do like our downtime, especially when you are there for 2 days in a row. Like you need to have that aspect. Like people don't understand that. Like if they just think about firefighters sitting down, not doing anything, and then they run a call, it's like, okay, they're not going to know how to do their job, right? So they must be doing something other than just sitting around not doing anything. So no, there's definitely the aspect. And like I said, every crew's different, right? Every crew trains a little bit more than others. Every crew slacks off a little bit more than others. But like the one thing with every single crew is that whether you look to your left or to your right, that person's going to give everything if you get into a bad spot, which I love.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So in this last week, I mentioned to 2 or 3 of my buddies that you were coming on, and that we were specifically going to talk about the Firefighter Challenge, and they had no idea what that was.
It's definitely a niche. Unfortunately, it's not as widely known as we want it yet, but it's getting there.
Let's spread a little bit of word about it. Let's just start with the most basic question. What the heck is it?
Yeah, so the Firefighter Challenge is a 5-evolution course, all entailing firefighter skills. It was started back in the 90s, so over 30 years ago now. Initially, it was made for an entrance exam to get onto a fire department. We all take physical tests, at least get on the job, right? So that's how initially what it was intended for. But somewhere along the line, and I honestly don't know everyone that helped get it started, but there was that aspect of like, hey, like maybe let's make this a sport. So like I said, it's been going on for 30 years, so it's not like it just came up out of nowhere within the last couple. And quite honestly, even when I got into the fire department, I didn't even know what it was up until 2 years in. So in July of 2023, my coach, again, Jared Johnson, him and other guys from Austin Fire Department who were competing at the time, they would come to our burn building in Georgetown, which my station is right up the road from it. So it's like our station right here, and then just down the road that you can see it from the station is our burn building where we train at. And I had seen them come down every once in a while, but I was like, oh, like just let them do their thing. You'd be some guys running around, having pulling a tire with a hose and like holding a rescue Randy and dragging him. Like, oh, okay, whatever. Just like, it's fine. Anyway, I ended up making my way down there, checking it out. I'm like, hey, like what y'all doing? And yeah, they told me everything about the firefighter challenge, and that they go across the country to compete. And I was like that sounds pretty cool. So I ended up I got a few touches on like the different evolutions, which I'll get into in just a second. But just having, I was like, oh yeah, like I think this is something I'm gonna do. Like this is cool. And the season was already over halfway over by then, so it was like, I mean, I could sign up now and just get one in, but going into it, I was like, hey, like I want to be the best I can possibly be. So going into it, I was like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. July 2023. It was up until June of 2024 is when I did my first firefighter challenge, which was the Southwest Regional Classic in Oklahoma City. Um, yeah, absolutely unreal experience. But I'll get into the actual course. So all firefighting based skills. Again, 5 evolutions. Some will say it's 6. Well, I'll tell you the extra one. So it starts off with a stair climb. So they have different individual runs where you can run the whole course by yourself. You can do a tandem, which is a duo. So say I would do the front half of the course and my partner would do the back half. Or you can do relays, which you can have up to one person per evolution, which that's like the fastest times you'll see is that, because I mean, you do one evolution, you're going to be primed, ready to go. The individual though, that's where the money's at. So you're wearing your full gear. So they have specific gear that we use for the challenge is a little bit more lightweight than say my normal gear from work in Georgetown. So it's lighter weight, just a lot more versatile, better dexterity, a little bit lighter. You're wearing that. You also have an air pack, which is say like 20, 30 pounds. And you're also on air. So you have the face piece with your SCBA on, breathing the air out of the bottle. And then obviously you wear a helmet. So in total, that extra weight is about 40 to 50 pounds, I would say, just in that gear. So like I said, it's a little bit lighter than our normal structure gear. So you lose a couple pounds, and the air bottles that they use about half of the size of what our normal ones that I'll wear for work. So that being said, first evolution is the stair climb. So it's 5 stories. You carry up a high-rise pack, which is like a 3-inch hose bundle, which weighs 42 pounds. So you're starting off with that. You go up all the way to the top. Try to do it as fast as you can. My times right now, at least for that, takes me. I actually hit my fastest one at Worlds, which took me 14 seconds to get to the top, which is pretty cool. Usually it's around the 15 to 17 second mark, just depending on how I'm feeling, what side I'm on. There's also, I'll mention 2 different sides. So when I'm running the course, I'm running against someone else. So they do like the seating and like placing. It doesn't make sense up until someone explains it to you, should I say, which I'll explain at the end. But after that, so at the top of the tower, you hoist up another hose bundle, which weighs 42 pounds. And the length of rope weighs about another 8 or 9. So technically it's 50 pounds initially. So you hoist that up, just hand over hand, threading the needle is what we call it. And you throw it up and over up until you get to the top. And then the 6, or should I say like the extra evolution, which they don't really harp on, is running down. So you got to run down the stairs too, which some people will say like it simulates like us running out of a house, like say if we're like evacuate a house, but it's not really listed in their in the actual challenge, but that's what we say. So after that, coming down, you go to a Kaiser sled, which is a steel I-beam, about 160 pounds, that you hit with a shot mallet. Try to get it as least amount of hits as possible. It has to go a certain distance. And I should mention all these too, just about every single evolution you can have, there's penalties involved. So especially like coming down from the tower, you have to hit every single step coming down. If I were to miss any step, that'd be a 2-second penalty. And at the top of the tower, whenever you throw in the hose bundles, if you miss that box, it's another 2-second penalty. So everything has a penalty to it at some point. So Kaiser sled has to go, I think it's like 5 or 6 feet total. Normally able to get in like 3 to 5 hits, depending on how smooth the Kaiser's going. You might double your hits, which adds time to your to your overall time, which kind of sucks. But yeah, after that, go to the delineators, which is just fire hydrants that you have to zigzag through for a certain length. I don't even know. I think that's like 70 feet, but it's like 6 or 7 different times that you zigzag through. So then after that, you grab a charged hose line. So you grab the charged hose line and you start running with it. They say at the end, when you get through the doors, you have to open up the nozzle. You got to hit a target to like put out the fire. But they say that the total amount that you're carrying at the end is about 240 pounds. So it's pretty heavy at the end. And by then, like, you already ran up the stairs, you ran down, like your legs are on fire. And then the very last one, the most important one, right at the end, is the Rescue Randy drag. So that's the big mannequin, 6 foot, 175 pounds. You have to drag him backwards 106 feet. And yeah, like I said, fastest time wins.
106 feet is so specific.
Yeah.
That is so specific.
It's 106.
Why?
Why
not just do 100?
They want to do 105, but they were like, we need to add in one more.
One more step.
Yeah. No, I don't know why it's 106, but unfortunately it is.
Whew. All right, that's a lot, man. What's
Yeah.
your quickest time when you've gone through all 5 or 6
So
evolutions?
my fastest time is when I actually got at this competition. The world's last year was my 139.12. So that's my fastest one ever. And to put that into perspective for the top athletes, the guy that won worlds this year, he ran like a 115 or a 116. So I would say I'm doing pretty good right now, for that being my second season. But yeah, we definitely have a lot more work to do, like another 30 seconds to shave off of everything, which is nuts.
For your 139, did you have any penalties on that one?
No, I did not.
That 2-second penalty is brutal.
Yep.
When you're completing the whole thing in somewhere between a minute and 15 and a minute 40, one penalty, that man, you're kicking yourself for that.
Yes, and that actually did happen to me at Nationals, like the month before. So they have a thing what's called Lion's Den. So if you get into the Lion's Den, they have it based on your age category and male and female. So for my age category, which is under age 40 male, you need to run the course in a minute and 40 seconds. So 100 seconds, minute and 40 seconds. And my first time running that, I ended up getting a hammer placement penalty, which I don't think I mentioned when I was explaining the Kaiser sled. So coming off the Kaiser, they have a small, like, carpeted area where you need to throw the mallet down into. So like the whole thing doesn't need to be in it, but like it needs to be in it enough. Which mine ended up, I threw it down, it bounced, it twisted, and then it went out. And I ended up running like a 138 something, or like a 139. So that it was 139 because I got a 141 was my time. So I was supposed to get Lion's Den, and I didn't. And I was like, and that was the one thing that I was chasing. Like, obviously I wasn't, for my first season, going to win the national championship. Like, the only thing that was on my mind is like I want to get the Lion's Den. Like, that was all that I wanted. So ended up not getting it at nationals, and then coming into worlds, which was a month later, that's when I finally got it.
Are you going to compete in worlds again?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, we just had the Dallas World Championship this last week, but yeah, I mean that's like the season finale. You see people from all across, like I mentioned before, there was like 20 or 25 different countries of firefighters represented from like Ukraine, Poland, New Zealand, Canada, like just there's a guy from South Africa too, which was, it's awesome.
Yeah. How many people were at this? Do you know? A couple thousand?
No. So there was about like 360, 380 athletes, I think, total. So it's like it's still pretty like tight knit, and they also do have a limited amount of spots just for how many people they can have compete throughout the day. That's like the cutoff was 400, which they sold out last year. The last year was in Nashville, so that one ended up selling out. But yeah, this one they were a little bit short.
What's the drive to keep doing this? Is it competitive nature?
The competitive nature definitely takes it, but it goes back to, which I guess I hadn't mentioned this. The one thing for firefighting, health and fitness, the one thing is always on my mind now, which wasn't when I got hired. This was like something I had to like figure out on my own, was not only being the like most capable person on the fire ground, but like just not having like being undeniable in what you're capable of. Like no matter what, someone looks at you is like, hey, Swenson can do it. Like, hey, you need someone to pull someone out, Swenson can do it. Like just being that person where it's like, hey, like this guy, he's got it.
Yeah.
So being in the aspect too of being able to be there on someone's worst day, no matter the circumstance. Like if you're just going through the motions, you can't do that. But if you're going in on your own time, suffering to insurmountable amount, especially when I do the firefighter challenge, like that's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like just running through that course, the amount of effort that you have to give within that 2 minutes is absolutely unreal. Like you can't replicate the course. You can try to push yourself when you're at the gym and stuff, but nothing will truly like make you feel like you're dying up until you do that. I would say 100%.
That is insane that someone ran that. That's insane that you did it in 1:39. That's insane that someone did it in 1:15.
Yeah, I hope to get there one day, but that's something you can't just, oh yeah, run a minute, even a minute 40. I don't think there's been people that have done it, say like their first run, but I don't know how long they've been training beforehand and stuff. And like I said, I trained for 11 months without a coach, like just running through the different evolutions, running say like once or twice a week. And my first time ever hitting the course, I got a 1:49. So ended up dropping 10 seconds by the end of the season. But that was also something too, how I mentioned like, hey, like I'm like the Lion's Den. That's what I want. I want to be in the Lion's Den. That's something I had right when I started training. So after that 11 months, I remember after that first run on the first day of the Southwest Regional, I did have like that sense of like what the heck, like I should have had that. Like I should have, the amount of effort that I put in for almost a full year, like what, like are you kidding me? So there was some aspects that I didn't think of, like right now our actual training tower is the height of what the course is, but that only happened a couple weeks ago. So up until then, the height of the tower that I train on in Georgetown was 2 flights lower. So in the sense, it would take me 10 seconds to get to the top of the training tower, but again, the 15 to 17 at the actual course. So where I was training at, it wasn't the 1-for-1. So yeah, you're not gonna run what you are for the lower tower and everything else. Like you can't replicate it, like I mentioned. So you're going to the top not as fatigued. You don't have to hoist it up as far. You don't have to run down as far. So I have a lot more energy going into that back half, versus now when I have the full height of the tower, I'm going to feel how I actually feel on the course, which is definitely within this next off season, which I'll slow down the training definitely just to enjoy the off season, but to also focus on the marathon and just other fitness goals and stuff like that. That was one thing. It's like, okay, like yeah, that makes sense. And even a 1:40, 1:49, that's still like pretty good, I would say. And even for that, so my first competition in the whole Southwest region, which Texas is part of, I placed third in Division 1. So they have divisions for based on the time and age category again. And I placed third and was seventh in my age category. I don't know what I was overall, because I'm sure there was some older people that ran faster than me, like guys in their 40s that are still crushing it. So, but that was really cool. So I brought home the bronze medal for the region, which was awesome.
When you're how does that sit with you, like when you land in 7th place? Does it bother you much, or what's your sort of your relationship with these rankings?
It's no, it's I understand. I understand it enough to be able to like own it. It's not to the fact of like, Oh shoot, like the amount of effort that I put in, like I need to be top 3 or otherwise I'm wasting my time. It's like the guys that are winning this have been doing this for years. Years, and this is only my second season and I'm still somewhat competitive, I would say, not to toot my own horn, but I would say like I'm doing pretty good for being my second season. But no, because even so for nationals this year, I ended up placing 24th in the nation, which was awesome. I don't think they came out the final ranks for worlds, or I hadn't seen them yet, so I don't know where I am for overall in the world, but at least for age categories. So they adjusted the age categories for this competition in particular. So I was in 25 to 29-year-old males, and I ended up placing second in the nation, and then it was 14th in the world in my age category, which is like, even then I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
not
take
bad.
that. It's only gonna keep getting better.
I have a question on resiliency for you. I have a couple people in my life right now who seem like they are willing to fold so easily. The minute they don't feel like doing something, the second something inconveniences them, they sort of just like cave and they're like, I'm going to flake on that commitment, whether it's something to themselves, like I was going to go to the gym today, or something to someone else. It seems like we're sort of in this space, at least in my circles, where people are just, that discipline is just lacking.
Yep.
For those folks, do you have any what would you say to them? Whether it's brutally honest or you can be kind about it, you can go whatever direction you want with this. But what could they do if they had a desire to truly start being men of their words, both to themselves and to the people in their lives, and to rely more on discipline than I'm going to do this right now because I feel like doing it or I don't feel like doing it? How do they start to override feelings and harness that discipline that we know they have?
So I've been asked this question before, and I would say I always have the unfair advantage because my job is literally life or death.
Right.
So if I skip a workout, if I skip workouts, if I'm not in the best possible shape that I should be in, not only am I putting my life at risk, I'm putting my crew's life at risk. I'm putting the communities, whoever calls me, their life at risk. So like I said, I always say I have an unfair advantage when it comes to that. But there's even this one video that I posted a couple weeks ago on my Instagram. It is even part of my YouTube. I just took a short out of it, but it's like something along the lines that like you can't negotiate with your feelings because your feelings are always going to give you the option that you don't want it, that you shouldn't do, but you want to do, right? Always saying, I don't wake up every morning wanting to go run. But I've done it so many times now within the last year and a half. Like, yeah, I'll say I'm not perfect. Like, there's been some times where I have skipped runs. Not recently, but I know just for something that I learned over time was that I will take the amount of suffering that I'm going to do on this run, whether it's a long run, easy run, speed workout, anything like that. I will go through that suffering because I would rather have that feeling than the feeling I know that I have when I skip a workout knowing that I could have ran. And that comes with any other workout for the firefighter challenge or just my normal gym routine. Is at least for the gym, there's never something that I've ever had where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to work out. It's like my body just like knows like, hey, it's time to work out. Like, yeah, maybe I was not like, oh yeah, it's like time to work out now. And my coach, he's pretty hard on me. He gives me some pretty good workouts. So, especially getting into the gym, it's funny now. It's like whenever I get in the gym and like just having like, you walk in, you smell the gym, like you smell the equipment, and like something in your brain goes like, oh shit, it's gonna happen again. Like you know what's happening. Like it's so weird now because that was something I like a couple months ago where I was like realizing like every time I come to the gym, like I do is like fuck. You just like what's about to happen, because and even he preaches on when you first get on his program is like, it is crucial that you do everything that the workout says in the order that it says. Like, don't take away anything. Don't try to mess around with it. Like, it's made for a specific purpose. And I would say just about every single workout, it's like, oh man, like there's always something. And we always do like start off with strength. You'll do like a heavy set on, say, front squat, power clean, overhead press, weighted pull-ups, and then you'll get into like the conditioning after that. So that's definitely one of the big things. I would say for at least for the resilience and discipline, it's just like you cannot have your feelings dictate what you're going to do, because they will always lead you into the direction that's comfortable. And comfortability, you can't grow as a person or become the person that you want to be while being comfortable. There's always that sense of the uncomfortability and just suffering that builds you into the person that you should want to be.
I wonder if an easy hack for people would be to start to put things through the lens of think about everything that you don't have that you wish you did, and then start to think about, could that lack of whatever it is, a partner,
100%,
whatever the thing, friendships. What if you had been keeping your word to yourself the last year? How would your life maybe look different today if you hadn't flaked on those 20 workouts, whatever the thing is?
That is what crosses my mind too. And I've heard quotes like that too. It's like everything that you missed, like just imagine like where your life would be. And I would like to think, at least for myself, that's not something I have to deal with. Like I know the amount of effort that I put into everything that I do. It's like I'm exactly where I should be. This is exactly the person that I want to be within the time frame of the knowledge that I've gained and the effort that I put in. Like I'm doing pretty good, I think. So
yeah. Ryan, this has been super fun.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, this was awesome. I think it went pretty smooth. A lot of good talks, and just going over my Instagram stuff too. I wasn't expecting that, so that was cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 quick questions for you to end this thing. They'll only take a few minutes. Before I do, to the audience, we are having our first episode in front of a live audience on Saturday, February 28th at the Austin Public Library downtown at 1 p.m. The guest that I have lined up is awesome. There's going to be some live music. There's going to be a couple of other surprises for y'all there. If you scroll down in the show notes, there's a website where you can click on to get more information. If you live in Austin, Texas, and you'd like to be part of the live audience, I would love to have you. I'd love to meet some of you in person for the first time. So please come out and join us. And secondly, if you enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor, which will only take a couple seconds of your time and none of your money. Hit that follow button if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. And if you do that thing for me, my commitment to you is that every Saturday I will release an episode with stories like Ryan's that will light your internal fire. So hopefully you can find that discipline and resiliency through our lives and our stories to chase the things that you've been wanting to chase after. So thank you so much for tuning in. Ryan, final 3 questions. When you're not at church, when you're not at the fire station, when you're not training, what do you do for fun? What's a man like you do to just to relax and hang out and enjoy himself?
No time to relax. No, I'm kidding. No, I do like my downtime. Right now, one thing that takes up a lot of my free time is YouTube. Definitely just trying to plan out future videos, editing videos. All my videos, other than I believe just one, is over 20 minutes. And the only reason why one isn't over 20 minutes is because my camera broke. It fell off the training tower and shattered. So I had to use my phone for the rest. I was like, whatever, this sucks. So usually, and I've always had a passion for video editing, but it wasn't up until March was like, hey, let's get this going. And I tried YouTube a couple years back and stuck with it, and just ended up, I was like, it's not something I need to be doing right now. But yeah, March is when we're just like, hey, like it's time, like all in. That's all I think about too, is the all in mentality, like no halvesies, full send, everything. Fitness, firefighting, firefighter challenge, all of my main stuff. That's just one thing that goes through my mind. But yeah, just it takes me like 3 to 5 hours to edit one video in particular, and would say it would take a little bit. It would be a lot quicker, but the one thing I find is like I always have trouble finding music because you can't just like use any song, right? You got to use like non-copyright or royalty-free music. So I think whenever I have footage from my workouts or the firefighter challenge prep, that is like, hey, we're good to go. That's all I need. Like I'll think of it in my mind and then I'll be able to like let it all play out. But it's finding the right music to go along with and then having that go like smooth throughout the video. And yeah, that's like I said, it's a time consumer for sure. And my regional competition, the nationals vlog, those are all like 40 minutes. So those take double the time, if not more, just for the amount of footage that you need to go through, but also just making it flow is definitely something like I try to be a perfectionist about. And I'm still learning. Like I'm definitely no expert when it comes to videography or editing and stuff, but that definitely takes a toll on my time. I'm also in the process of getting my personal training certification. So that's also doing the module. That's all online. So I'm going to be hopefully working with my coach doing the firefighter fitness for, I don't even know how many clients he has. I think he has a couple hundred at least. And then a bunch of followers. And we have some plans for the future to have some more stuff available for firefighters and just people that want to just get in better shape. But yeah, I do like hanging out with friends too. Going out, hitting downtown or whatever. That has slowed down quite a bit within the last few months. Definitely with the end of Firefighter Challenge season coming to an end, that was something I had to just wanted to be locked in. And yeah, but like even for going out, like I'm a big E6 guy. Like I love E6. I have a bunch of friends that live over there, and yeah, just always a good time down there for sure. So, but I'm responsible.
Good.
Yeah.
You seem like it.
Yeah.
I think we all could have assumed that.
Yeah.
But
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Just out of curiosity, do you have a subscription to like a royalty-free music website? Is that where you're pulling music from right now?
So I use Artlist.io, and then I just found Epidemic Sound, which I like Epidemic way more than Artlist personally.
I haven't looked at Epidemic. I'm currently using the first one you said.
Okay, Epidemic's way better, 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
If they can sponsor me, they'll sponsor me.
Yeah, and Artlist can sponsor me.
Yeah,
for now. Yeah, I've been using you guys for
a year. Is Artlist like slow free? Like whenever you're trying to like look up music and stuff, is the website just like super slow?
No.
Okay, maybe that's just a me thing. I was like, one thing, I was like, this sucks. Like, I'll just like be trying to look up music and it takes forever to load and stuff. But I was like, once I got Epidemic, like it's like a regular website. So I'm like, oh, this is way better. So
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
User error.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's in Espanol, so I can't read that. So I just gotta click on random stuff.
This next one is not a question at all. It's just something I had to mention. Love him or hate him, everyone knows this name. You have met the podcaster of podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
I will say I'm not his biggest fan. I have nothing against him. He's one of those guys that I typically tune in because of the guest. I'm like, oh, shit, Neil deGrasse Tyson's, I probably just butchered his name. Yeah. I like that guy. I'm going to tune into this episode. Or like whenever he has Theo Vaughn on, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. For sure I'm tuning in. Or Protect Our Parks is super fun.
Yeah.
What was that like meeting him? Was it cool?
Yeah. So how that all played out. So I was at work technically. Doing like medical standby at the Two Step in Georgetown, the big music festival that they've been having the last couple of years. So I was the very first one. So we were actually backstage for Zach Bryan. So I was with my partner and a bunch of the other guys, like just backstage. And yeah, see Zach Bryan come out. And quite honestly, even beforehand, like I hadn't really heard of Zach Bryan. And even when he came, like I'm not a big country guy either, at least like country music. So I'm just like, oh, like cool. But anyone else, they're like, oh my gosh, you got to meet Zach Bryan. I'm like, I didn't meet him. He just like kind of walked past me. But the Joe Rogan, out of nowhere, just comes with his crew. I think like his wife and bodyguards or whoever was with him, like just come out of nowhere, and I'm just like, that's Joe Rogan, just like out of nowhere. And yeah, he's definitely a lot shorter than I thought he was gonna be too. Like I've never seen him in person other than say like his podcasts, and then Fear Factor back in the day or whenever those clips come on my Facebook and whatnot. But yeah, towards so after the end of the concert, all the guys like, dude, we gotta go get a picture with him. So he was actually taking pictures with some of like the guys from the sheriff's office and K9 unit or whatever. And my partner, right after they took the picture, he's like, "All right, come take a picture with the real heroes now."
You guys do like take jabs at each other.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whatever we can. It's all good love. But So I got that. That was pretty cool. And I don't really listen to his podcast and stuff, but whenever like say like Theo Von or just like the short clips on like Facebook or Instagram come up, like I'll watch them here and there. But quite honestly, I don't really listen to a whole lot of podcasts. But
that's
I'm
fair.
excited to be on this one for sure.
More of a music person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most people are sort of in that camp. You're either more music or more podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, this has been super fun. Thank you so much for your time, especially with how busy you are these days. I'm really grateful to have met you in person and to have this conversation.
Yeah.
For this last question, I actually don't know what it's going to be. So I picked up this deck of cards from one of my favorite podcasts out of the UK, and it's a bunch of questions that he asks his guests.
Okay.
And so at the end of every episode, I ask you to pull whichever one you're gravitating towards, read it out loud, and let us know what your answer is.
All right. When do you feel the most emotionally connected to yourself? That's a good one. Especially as men, I think we don't like to talk about our emotions and stuff, but I'm gonna have to think about this. Well, this one was for Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what he had to say. When do you?
Or Tony Hawk, excuse me, he asked that question, and then Alex Hormozy had to answer it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably have to say just the relationships I have with, like, say, my friends and my coworkers. You know, because everyone's going through something nowadays. I mean, everyone has since ever, right? But it just seems today's world, everyone's just struggling maybe a little bit more than what they need, whether they like to bottle it up or actually tell you what they have going on. So one of the things I really like is to be there when people are suffering. Like, it sounds weird, but I mean, that's my job, literally. And I find too that people just go about it the wrong way. Like, people say someone just lost their dad or something. Like, say I go on a call, someone just lost their dad, like, we can't save him, whatever. Most people under circumstances will be like, yeah, like I'm so sorry. Like, I lost my dad too. Like, they'll try to relate to them. But one of the things, and it's even like talked about like in the Bible, is just like you're not supposed to relate to people when they're suffering. It's like you're supposed to suffer with them. So it's the empathy that I have, but it's also just me. Like, I can see how like they're feeling, and I can feel that with them. So it's not even I have to say anything to them to try to make them feel better, because especially in that circumstance, there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to make them feel better. Like, yeah, I could be like, oh, he's in a better place right now. Like, some people, like a lot of people will say that, you know, especially when like family members die, like, oh yeah, he's in a better place. But just being there, putting your arm around them, just being there, not even have to say anything, like weeping with them. So I would say, at least for the emotional connectivity, that would be something I'm good at, or just fortunate, had plenty of practice by now.
Well, dude, that's probably a gift you're giving to people that they didn't know they needed. So
yeah,
good on you, and thank you for that answer.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. I'm glad I thought about that one nice and thoroughly.
Yes.
But I try to preach that whenever I can too. Like I said, just a lot of people just like they want to keep on rambling, like, oh, like, yes, just keep talking to try to make the situation a little bit better. It's like there's some instances you can't do that. Just if you just be there for someone, that's all they want at the end of the day. You know, they don't want your words, they just want your company.
Yeah. Think about that one, guys. That was a really good answer.
Write that down.
All right, Ryan, let's get you out of here, audience. You guys know what to do. I hope everyone has a healthy and happy weekend, and we will see you next Saturday for another episode of David's Saturday Night Sit Back. Good night, everyone.